Hey guys, Albert Make here. I'm going to discuss the Kris Kringle Pull 3 event. Um, it was a really good event in my opinion. 1 to 2 matches I was pretty questionable about, but this is kind of the results and my thoughts and stuff on the event and how it went. Overall, I think it was a really good event. I like the rules and everything that in which they put in place with the automatic strap every round after it's applied, and good reffing. Those very lenient, which I think makes for good arm wrestling matches. But right out the gate, Michael Brown versus Austin Finley, 3-0 to Austin. Is kind of a King's move press situation. Michael trying to put the fatigue in, but Austin Finley was just too strong. Auden versus Coach Ray was the second match. I thought maybe Leroy and Auden would have pulled first, but it does make sense because that's the chance that that match, having Auden pull Coach Ray first, gives him the most chance in beating Coach Ray, and it was the most exciting match. So you want to see those guys kind of fresh to fresh. It went 4-1 in Coach Ray's favor. First round, I was pretty impressed by Auden's speed. Very contained, fired outside, and just crushed all of Coach Ray's pronation down, turned him palm up, and pinned him. It was pretty quick. That first round, Coach Ray learned all he needed to know at that point. Of course, it went into more King's Move battle versus top roll. Basically, from there on, Coach Ray was being very safe and smart about every adjustment that he made, waiting for Auden perfect precision to surge so he ain't busting his own wrist back too much. There was multiple times where Auden had dropped below the table, which, hey, and they didn't call it, but that's a good match. You know what I mean? It's fun, it's exciting for people to watch. And I mean, I really did like that match. It did go the way I thought it was going to go, with Coach Ray winning. I just kind of honestly thought that Open King's move would have been better for Auden. Coach Ray just eliminated it pretty hard. I think Auden could have had more of a fight in that position, but he really didn't. Next match was Bob Brown versus Artem. Right out the gate, fresh to fresh. That was right-handed match. Of course, the match went 3-0 for Bob Brown's favor. First round, Bob looked very dominant over Artem, eliminated basically all of his side pressure with all of his back pressure pronation. As the matches went on, I wish it was a best-of-7 match because Artem was really putting the fatigue on Bob Brown's arm, and especially once it got to the round 3, even though Bob pulled it off, like you could tell he was sweating, he was fatiguing, and Artem just kept slamming into him and not caring about his wrist, and it was awesome to watch. Kind of sad Artem didn't get a single win in that match, but I feel like it wouldn't have took much more time, and Artem could have probably turned it around. If it was a best-of-7, maybe 4th round, he could have got a win and then carried it on, but that's a tall task when you're facing Bob Brown like that. Bob Brown is a killer. Jesse Androvac versus Sarah Latine. Man, that probably the best match of the night. Best of 5, went all 5 rounds. Sarah pulled off the first 2 rounds outside the strap. Super fast, super dominant, was beating Jessie on, or Jess on go. Just really good performance, really quick, timed everything perfectly. Went 1-2, and I thought it was going to be round 3. Was going to go the same way. Went to the strap, and the strap kind of turned the tides for a second. Round 3 and 4, there was a lot of side pressure pronation from Jessie. Inside that strap, was able to engage and roll over and got her 2-round win, so it was 2-2 at that point. And then the final round, round 5, Sarah was just too fast on go. That was the way I seen it. She had loaded up perfectly, in my opinion, and she beat that center table and go battle, and from there it was all in her favor. There's kind of a little bit of a stoppage there, but she just had the better setup and was able to beat her opponent on go. So it was 3-2 there for Sarah. Jordan Seal versus Michael Vaz. 3-1. Jordan won. Jordan just had a lot of raw side pressure strength, in my opinion. Michael Vaz had a really good press in there to win one of the rounds, which was round 1, and then Jordan came around 1, 2, 3, and 4. But yeah, there's a lot of strength from Jordan. He learned a lot from that first round, made good adjustments, and won the match from there. So let's see, Dallas Langston versus John Therian right-handed. So this really didn't go the way I thought it was. Like, I'm a big Dallas Langston fan, but I thought John Therian was going to beat him right-handed. Yeah, first round, Dallas looked brute force strong. No inside ability for John, really, in that. Dallas pinned him pretty quickly, pretty dominant, had really good setup. Round 2, John won on fouls. So the match went 3-1, John winning one match. And so it was round 2, and it was on fouls. He kings moved, put a lot of fatigue on Dallas's hands, and I could tell his hand and wrist was almost basically gone at that point. And from there, I thought it was going to completely turn around in Therian's favor. But still, Dallas was just extremely fast, extremely explosive, had maintained really good setup throughout every round. For round 3 and 4, after that, basically by the 4th round, it was a full-blown just shoulder forward, don't care about the hand and wrist, let's press, and pulled John straight open, no problem. So Dallas Langston won that one. But still, really, really good match. I think John, if he had put the fatigue on his hand and wrist and stuff like that, if he had a little bit more shoulder containment in there, maybe he could have held on to win another match or two, but it went completely in Dallas's favor. He just had the better setups, better starts, and he had that flop press there at the end just to finish John off. Alexander Kashadze versus Luke Kendit. 3-0 for Luke. He's just really fast, sideways, explosive. 3-0, pretty one-dimensional. Wasn't much of a fight there. Alexander didn't have much of a chance against Luke. Luke just a lot of fast twitch, sideways, explosive on go. Don't think Alexander got any goes at all, even a false start go. But yeah, that was a pretty self-explanatory match there, very one-dimensional. Ole versus Artem, left-handed, 3-1. Artem won that one. First round, Ole got the win. So I was kind of surprised by that. It was a pretty good war battle. Second round was an amazing war, just hitting back and forth, not caring about each other's hands. As soon as one would hit, he would crack his own hand back and go sideways, and it was the exact same back and forth. And then Artem just has that side pressure ability to keep hitting at the same pace and the same strength time and time again. His elbow is just built stronger, and I think that's what won him that match, was his elbow. Could just handle it and had more endurance than Ole had. So and 4 was not as much of a wars. There was still stops in there and a couple hits from both guys, but overall it ended up being Artem doing a Todd roll kind of situation with Ole's hand just cracking back and kind of getting in a bad position here with his wrist fully contained and trying to stop it, but Artem just had too much side pressure for him. Now this is a match, Kenny versus Will. I was very disappointed to see in the card. They looked very beginner, basically. You don't want to pay for a pay-per-view to see beginners arm wrestle. Like, no one cares. No one, that's completely, get that out of the card. If you're going to have a pay-per-view, take any of these beginner matches out. That's the way it seemed to me. I mean, Kenny was setting his elbow on the table and blocking himself from going sideways. Like, that's anybody that has more than 4 months of training should know better than that. 4 to 6 months at most. You should break yourself of that habit. It was 3-1. Will won that match, and Will was very one-dimensional in a outside top roll fashion. That was all he had. But still, that was a very disappointing match to watch there. I mean, I'm a 176 guy, and I'm around their weight, and I would gladly do any 2-on-1 match with them because they are very beginner in their styles and the way they arm wrestled, and that was a very disappointing match to watch on a pay-per-view that you spend money for. I did not like that at all. But then it finished out with 3 more matches, which really good matches there that I like to watch. High-level athletes. Auden versus Leroy left-handed went exactly how I thought. Leroy was just way too powerful for Auden. 3-0 for Leroy. First round, Auden kind of cracked Leroy's wrist back outside the strap. Hit on go. I thought maybe. What I would have liked to have seen was Auden's brother, Milo, jump up there for a 1-round match against Leroy left-handed, because I really think Milo could beat Leroy left-handed. I really do think that. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate there, but Milo, even though he doesn't train at all for the most part, likes to party, have fun, he's pretty daggum good left-handed arm wrestler with beating Tim Lewis and stuff like that. Very sticky puller. Tim's very strong, but Milo's so explosive and everything else that I think Leroy wouldn't have known what to do with it, with that explosive strength. And I think he's a lot faster and a lot stronger left-handed than Auden, of course. I liked watching the match, but I was very disappointed from Tom Nelson. So it's Tom Nelson and Derek Smith. It was 3-0 for Tom Nelson. Tom, first round, legitly beat Derek on go. It looked like Derek was sleeping. And that was the only pin for the rest of the match, which that's very disappointing for a viewer to see. No one wants to see that. If I'm an arm wrestler and I win due to fouls from the other guy fouling out, I want a pin. Come on. And Tom was so excited about that win and everything else, and there's just really no pride in winning on fouls, I don't feel, in my honest opinion. I know fouls is fouls. It's part of the game, and it happens. But pay-per-view, you really want to see those guys pin each other. If you have 1 round that goes to fouls, okay, it happens. But I think Derek, if he would have just, he looked stronger. He looked like he could have done anything from round 2 on that he wanted to Tom. But his elbow just kept sliding off the back because of his long lever, and Tom keeping him down like this as he goes sideways. So every time he went sideways in a top roll, his elbow would pop off the back of the pad. I think if he would have posted and just went straight back with it and just put all of his weight down on his elbow to make it not even move, I think he would have had the power just to statically rotate Tom. So I really hate that Tom won that match on fouls after the first round, because it really looked like Derek had it completely, but then lost on fouls. So I really want that match to run back again, and see that be posted out there, because, like I said, very disappointed. Tom's reaction and his excitement stuff. I know it's exciting to win a match, but is there any pride in winning a match on fouls? If you only pin the guy one time and you still beat him 3-0, go back and look at your own match, Tom. I mean, are you proud of that? You got to ask yourself. So why don't you come back and beat Derek officially on no fouls? And just go from there on that. My most exciting match to watch is the main event on the card, which we are to now. It was Justin Bishop versus Hunter Knopfs. It went the way I wanted it to, but at the same time, I was kind of disappointed still. I watched these guys. I'm a 176 puller. So these are the two best 176 pullers out there in the United States, North America, right-handed. And man, Justin killed Hunter. I mean, absolutely. And I hate it for Hunter, but Justin just a stronger, better man that day. I don't think there was anything really that Justin didn't perfect during that match. He had every go perfect. He had every setup perfect. It was never a question. Now, the only thing I kind of would have loved to have seen from Hunter, and this ain't nothing dogging Justin or anything, was what if he would have purposely false started, like an obvious false start multiple times to fatigue Justin. I think if he could have got the go on one round from just blowing Justin's arm up, that would have been an interesting round. I'm not saying that Hunter could have came back and won the match from doing that at all. Justin just looked very smart, very dominant, very strong. But what if Hunter would have hit 3 times, 3 false starts? That's a foul and a half. And it just blow Justin's arm up. Those hits are nasty. Good buddy of mine, Cody, he's got hurt from Hunter's hits off go, but there's not very many people that can take a hit after hit after hit from Hunter. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I wish it would have been a little closer. Wish I could have seen something different. It was the same every round. Just Justin had a perfect setup, a perfect go, just easy low hand style back thumb pronation, and just slammed Hunter 3 times in a row. No issue there. Hunter couldn't. Justin just blocked everything from Hunter. I think it would have been interesting if last round, out of desperation, if Hunter would have done a spring effect and tried to get go and run out, because no one goes out. No one has ever seen Hunter really go outside. So I think it might have surprised Justin, and that might have made it interesting. But I don't know. At the end of the day, Justin Bishop he's a killer dude, and he's our number 1 right hand 176 without a question. That match settled it right then and there, that Justin's number 1 and Hunter's number 2. And and then you got some rankings out there that say that Austin Tevis is North America's number 1 right hand 176. Dude can't even make 200 pounds. I don't know. He ain't ever pulling a 176 again, so he just needs, no one hears about him. But yeah, Justin is our number 1 176, North America's best. Yep. So thank you guys for listening in on what my thoughts are and the way the matches went for the Kris Kringle Pull 3 event. like, comment, subscribe. I will be posting more videos. This channel's pretty new. So yeah, you'll see a lot of stuff like this. What my thoughts are on upcoming events and the matches, kind of giving who I think is going to win and stuff. Training, hopefully get a few podcasts in there from arm wrestlers and so on. But yeah, thank you guys. Peace out.